Hello, welcome back to GameSpot's coverage of Gamescom 2013. Mark Walton, I believe you have been in a field where there was a battle.
And cows. No, there were no cows.
4.
4.
Tell me about Battlefield 4. You just came out a couple of minutes ago.
First thing to say, we were playing the PlayStation 4 next-gen version.
How did it look?
Okay, so this was running 1080p, 60 frames per second. Basically, all the numbers on the screen at once. Brilliant. Now, I have to say, incredibly smooth. I was expecting, I guess because we've been spoiled by the single-player footage of Battlefield 4, where you're like, wow, okay, this is blowing my mind. It didn't blow my mind as much as I thought it would.
No?
I have to say, I must confess, it was just from a visual standpoint.
Yeah, there was a little peg away from the PC. Is that what it felt like, maybe?
Yeah, it felt like there's a tiny little peg away from the PC, but this is early code, should be said. So, there's still time for this to be tweaked and whatnot.
Cool.
But that was my first impression visually. However, playing it, fun, super fun.
So what was it you saw? Was it
domination map?
Okay.
The domination map was set on this little island. It's surrounded by the ocean, and essentially, if you're not familiar with domination, I'm sure most people are, but it's like capture the flag, 3 points. You have to run to each one and capture it. The new feature here is that there are specialized weapon drops.
Okay.
So what happens is weapon drops in the middle. It's super high powered. So as well as running to capturing the points, you're also running for these super high-powered weapons. So you get these little individual battles around these sort of crates as well.
So both teams need the weapons.
We don't need the weapons.
Yeah.
If someone gets it, you've got a super high-powered weapon, killing spree, right? So generally, you will all peg it for those things. There's like an icon on the screen that comes along and shows it off. But like I say, man, we had a blast. It's really, really good fun. And 60 frames per second thing, I know it's odd, but it does sort of make a difference when you're playing like a fast-paced shooter.
How big was the map? How many people were playing?
16 players.
16, so 8 on 8.
8 on 8. Yeah. There was basically in the final game they're saying 64 players, nuts amount. For this, just 16 on the console, PS4.
Did anything evolve? Was there Levolution happening?
Oh yes, the cringeworthy Levolution. What a name! What a name!
Any buildings fall down? Any boats crashing into the sea?
I didn't see any boats crashing. I saw fancy waves and stuff.
I love the idea that every map now just has a boat. In New York,
middle of the city, boats. Yeah. Hey man, where are you? Oh no, we're in the jungle.
Boat.
Bang. So I guess
confirmed.
I didn't confirm. Yeah, that's right. I didn't see any of that too much. There's a lot of building destruction on this level that I was on. There were a lot of concrete buildings, and as grenades were launched, whatever, bits of them started to fall off, and you're like, oh my god! And then it sort of changes where you can well, not camp out, but certainly hide if you're in a tough spot. And so it makes. I guess it's what Martin was saying to me, Martin Gass was saying. It completely changes the way the game plays because you learn a map. In a shooter, and that's how you get good at it.
You know the corners, you know the angles and all that.
If that map is constantly changing, it completely changes the dynamic of how people play that game. And sure, there's still going to be places that people are going to know about, but I think because it changes a lot, or even the playing field a little more. At least I hope it does. For noobs, I'm not a super noob, but certainly I'm not a pro. So I think hopefully it will even the playing field.
Excellent. Lastly, did you see any of the aquatic vehicles that they've been talking about? Any of the jet skis or any of that stuff?
None of that, I'm afraid. This was core shooting. It was just me, my big gun, a bunch of dudes to shoot in the face. And you know what? What else do you need?
Great.
What else do you need?
Nice one. That's Battlefield 4. Right here from Gamescom. Make sure you stay on GameSpot.com for all the latest news from Germany.